You could comment too, eh?
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Old Talk United. I am your host with the most, Devin. And with me in the bar today, we've got the man up there in Canada, Big Phil. We've got Darren, the ref. We got Greg B. And we got Mark Lewis. Gentlemen,
Boom.
good afternoon. How are you?
Blessings, blessings.
Glad to be here again. Glad to be back in the bar again.
Yeah, man.
It's been a busy week. We could use a few drinks in our system. We could use a few drinks.
Yeah.
Definitely. And on that note, cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. And what you got today?
Yeah.
Big up you play.
Good sponsor. This segment was sponsored by Uplay.
I see Big Phil. I see you in that Croatia shirt right now. That's a great. Who's on the back?
Yeah.
No one.
Nobody.
No one. It's funny because I bought this shirt and a France shirt with Mbappe at the back earlier this year around like January, and it's funny that both of those teams are in the semifinals right now. So
With you lots of numbers, right?
lotto numbers, boy.
Yeah.
If I win the lotto, Mark Lewis, you could be the first person I call. You could be
All right, brother.
Wow. What, to tell him what you not getting?
Yeah, that we gonna come over.
Mark is
Because-
the luckiest person. Anyway, he's the one who got the signed shirt last time. So
Yeah, son. So
Should have said some of that luck for Brazil, though.
Well, yeah, why I'm telling you, eh?
unfortunate.
That you see my copy yellow. So I ain't saying I have one blue. So till I die. Brazil and Manchester.
Boy, it's funny. It's funny because in the quarterfinal stage, I was telling myself and other United fans that at least a United player is going to lift the World Cup. And
Yes.
within the space of 2 quarterfinals, a whole
All right.
bunch of United players have.
We only have 2 right now.
We went from having 7 players in the quarterfinals to having 2 players in the semifinals.
Yeah, son, we boil along to 2 of them.
Moral of the story,
Yeah.
Big Phil, don't say anything.
And the 2 left are our 2 starting center backs. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Jeff,
But I want one
on the
boom though.
topic of
I want
football,
one to go. Mado, I ain't gonna say which one.
We all know which one it is,
We
Mark.
all know who it is.
Yeah, Mark,
And
Mark,
we all know that
Mark,
they were
if
blue.
it's a
We all know they
Brazil-
were blue. We will put
If
it at
Mark
that.
is a Brazil fan, I know which one he won't go home.
Yeah.
Steve,
Diamond
Wonder
Dog,
could
but
say
you gotta
all
go
the
matter
Marks,
of
I
though.
will say is the one that he.
Diamond
What
friend,
shade
but
of
you gotta
blue
go
it is,
matter
I
of-
will not say, but I know he wants to go home.
Yeah, you gotta go man rest man because when be fresh for when the season start back.
So, gents,
Yeah,
I know
that-
we've all been watching right now, and unfortunately, all I can say right now for quite a bit of the officiating on this one is
Red card. Red.
And there we go. Darren with the sour look on his
It
face. We
seems
know
that
he feels attacked.
Don't take it personal, Dad. Just step on our yoga there.
so. Again, it's unfortunately, I think we are talking more about some of these decisions being made instead of the matches itself. I know it's been a topic of controversy with Argentina. It's been a topic of controversy with Portugal, and now it's been a topic with England as well. So for this show, I had we had to have on an actual ref, the only person on this panel who is a certified official. So I know that emotion can be running high. I know, for example, I thought Brazil was going to win it all, and they got knocked out. I know some people had England, President Chad, won in England too, and got knocked out. Emotions are high right now. But we need to have somebody who has an actual opinion, who is an official on this panel today. So where to begin? Which match should we start with first? We could cover. Let's see. I really didn't think I thought the Brazil match was actually pretty decently officiated, in my opinion.
Yes, that
Would
was.
anybody disagree?
You could start with the Argentina Holland.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
one.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I want to go there first to be fair, so we cover all the quarterfinals. I thought the officiating was pretty decent in that one. I think it was the only one that really didn't have any controversy out of the other matches.
Well,
But
I need to start like this. The football match is not about the referee. It never was, and it should never be. It should never be. All right. So when the aim for refereeing is for the players, the commentators, the consumers of football to not have so much to say about the referee.
Dan, that's cutting across, yeah? You know I'm McPhee?
Okay. Yeah, to answer your question, yes, I know I'm McPhee. Yes.
All right, okay.
All right.
I want to know him now. I want to know him, so continue.
Right, so the consumers of football should not be so engrossed in talking about the officiating of the match rather than the outcome of the match, the players of the match, even the spectators of the match, but the officiators of the match, the officials of the match should not be a talking point. So let me start there. To going into this World Cup, FIFA had a lot to consider in terms of the quality of referees going to the World Cup.
On YouTube.
Well, we could go there if you want to, but in the broad specs, in the broad sense, the quality of referees going to the World Cup, I mean, fortunately, we had our very own Caleb Wales going.
Yeah.
That was another landmark achievement for Trinidad and Tobago refereeing, because we've also had referees going to the World Cup before. Those who could remember Michael Ragonat, Marie Gonzalez,
Yep.
also officiated at World Cup final. So to have Caleb Wales now in the mix, it is showing on a world stage that Trinidad and Tobago are producing very top quality match officials. So when you see like what's this guy named Michael Oliver or La House or the top referees, you could the quality of referees is strong, so you should have strong quality matches outside of the players and the tactics and whatever. You have referees who could match the caliber of the match of the occasion. All right. So when you have referees being talked about in a negative light, it becomes sensationalized because it's something you're not supposed to be talking about. It's not something that should be talked about. We as the 5 on-field officials should just go do the game and walk off. We shouldn't be in the media. We shouldn't have a 15-minute segment on ESPN. We shouldn't be on podcasts. Our decisions can be dissected in the match analysis, but to be a focal point or a topic of discussion, it should not be. The match officials, either on the field or in the VAR truck, are bound by the laws of IFAB and FIFA. Okay? The 17 laws and other protocols of VAR and everything like that, we are bound by that. We don't go there and call what we feel to call. Or in the moment, I think I should do this. No, we are bound by those 17 laws and its sub-protocols. Now, in any job, there is a measure of common sense. Yes, you have your protocols and your guidelines, but sometimes common sense dictates the pace. So in local terms, we would say law 18, use your head. And that itself has evolved into a professional term called football understanding.
Yep.
So referees who have played the game could put themselves into a player's shoe and be like, if I was in a situation, I might do that. Or I could understand why the player moved that, had that kind of action or response to the ball or whatever it is around him. You cannot, or you should not, go into an environment and don't understand the environment you're in. Don't understand the mechanisms or the nuances of the environment you are in. So if you don't know nothing about football, even if you never played it, but you don't know nothing about football, take some time before you become an established referee to understand football. So that boiling into part of the reason why we're here. That Argentina match, that Argentina match. I'm going to leave out everything that was.
I got to ask you a question. I got to ask you maybe a couple of questions or make a statement, ref. But
no problem.
I don't know if it's a stupid question, but does it make some sort of impact or coincidence based on the country the referee is from?
Yes and no. No, in the objective sense, because it shouldn't matter what nationality the referee is from. That should impact the players or the outcome of a match. It should not matter. So in the objective sense, no. But in the subjective sense, I can understand why a statement like that is made.
Correct. And I wanted to make kind of a statement leading into a question, because my statement is, you see the teams that are still in the World Cup, right? At the end of the day, what is being, and what you said 5 minutes ago, referees and officiating shouldn't be the highlight of a football match, right?
Correct.
But it's amplified when a specific team loses and doesn't get their way, right? So don't get me wrong. What happens between minute 1 and minute 90 or minute 120? That is what the newspapers and social media should be talking about, right? By the end of the day, when a specific team loses, it doesn't matter if it's international or club, they start to amplify the officiating, right? Now back to when I was saying the teams in the quarterfinals. I think what was amplified is a specific referee in the Portugal versus Morocco match happens just to be from Argentina. Argentina is still a team in the World Cup.
And that was very much highlighted.
So
after the match.
Yeah. So my take is, when I saw that, it had me questioning, and I don't know what you think, ref, because at the end of the day, there were 32 teams in this World Cup, right?
Yep.
When it came down to the quarterfinals, you could have picked another referee from a different country.
Whose country not in the World Cup still?
Correct. Exactly what Mark Lewis said. Countries that not in the World Cup, you could have picked an officiator from that specific country. Could have been US, could have been Canada, could have been Belgium, Germany, whatever, right? But it was kind of down to FIFA picking a referee from Argentina. Now everybody can say, "Oh, it's Messi versus Ronaldo," but at the end of the day, I was not on that. I was part of Argentina is still a country in the World Cup. I don't know what you think about that, ref.
No, it goes back to these things. Now, at this stage of the tournament is really the luck of the draw. Because at the beginning of the World Cup, you could not predict who was going to be where. And the appointment committee would have had to choose these referees for different games and different beforehand.
Okay.
And it just boiled down to being this now.
But how far beforehand did they pick them? That's what I gotta ask, right?
So and then before, I have a question on this one as well, going into this now. Because if I remember this correctly, I know they said they pick the officials ahead of time. But I know it was mentioned before that, let's say, like, you cannot officiate your country that you're from. So what happens then, like, if you draw final, and you were supposed to be the one that was set to officiate it, but then your country's still in it? Well, they would have to have alternates or something like that in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where it comes to that is like, and with that being said, I also think, like, because I know they have it for the final, but I think it should, my personal opinion, it should be once you get to the knockout stages, like, or I would say probably semifinal-ish around that time. If your country's still in and it's heated, especially if you have rivalry like that, I'm sorry, but you should not be officiating those games, because it could cause controversy like it does.
That's understood.
The other side to that coin is this: if it was a official from a team who got knocked out already, or who didn't even make it to the World Cup final, how are we going down that road now?
Well, that's where the professionalism gotta come in.
I see where you're going, because let's say, because Brazil knocked out who it was, Serbia? Or Brazil knocked out who? Japan?
South
Korea.
Yeah.
Right. So Brazil knocked out South Korea. What are the chances that Brazil versus Croatia, there's a South Korean referee.
Exactly.
That South
Exactly.
Korean referee could be thinking, okay,
Yeah.
you knocked out my team 3 or 4 days ago, and now I'm the officiator. Cool.
Exactly.
Right? Now, my
Yeah, because you could end up in the same problems anywhere around.
correct.
Anywhere
Another,
around.
Yeah.
another take before you land, Ref. And with regards to different countries, what Devin said is totally correct. But I also think I'm trying to find the right words. If it's a match between one country who speaks, let's take Argentina. Let's say it's a match between Argentina and Canada or Belgium. I wouldn't want the referee to be a referee who is Spanish speaking, if that makes sense.
Yes, all that is taken into consideration because as a match official, you need to relate to the players, the coaching staff, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're trying to eliminate the language barrier. We're talking about that language barrier you're talking about. You really try to eliminate that. So you're going to pull up referees, okay, who is multilingual?
Correct.
And that's what
Understood. That's understood.
The match official selection.
Because just coming back to local, when defense force playing anybody, and well, I know you know Rodfin Harris.
Yeah, Rodfin Harris. Yeah.
Right. When Rodfin come to do an army game, we had to write a letter for him not to do any of our games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reason being, he trying to be so, how to put it, he trying to be so non-biased towards us that he does end up messing up the game.
And you have a measure of conflict of interest too.
Yeah, a conflict of interest. Because almost every game he referee that defense force play, one of our players gets sent off or some kind of thing. Just because he trying to be non-biased and trying to show the public that I ain't thieving for defense force or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he end up making a lot of bad calls. I'm a boy, but we had was the right for him not to do any more army games.
And so done. So like, let's say defense force versus police.
Yeah. That kind of game. He can't do them kind of game.
Exactly. Nobody, because we have referees who are in the police force, referees or
exactly.
In the defense force. They are not assigned to the game.
Yeah.
In the pool of referees in Trinidad, what other parts of like the government can you choose from to referee? Could be firemen or nurses or
no. Believe it or not, we have actual non-nationals who are referees in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
All right. So it doesn't matter where. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. The criteria for selecting referees is a bit different. So, like case in point with Rodfin Harris and Defense Force games, he would not be assigned to Defense Force games. He'd be assigned to other team games.
Yeah.
We have.
So you will have to. So you will have to fill in. So for those who are watching who are not from Trinidad, I am going to assume that this man was or is a member of the Defense Force.
Yeah. Is a member.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's a conflict of interest. Just so everybody who is not Trini watching right now gets a better understanding. So it's kind of similar to like
it come like the same thing like
what's
I'm
his
a
name?
trainer. And if I train in our next team and Defense Force in that same league that with the team I train in, when that team meets Defense Force, I cannot sit down on the bench.
Exactly.
A conflict of interest.
We have those who are referees who are school teachers.
Ref, I'm gonna assume that the background check for a referee is overwhelming.
You need to be of some character.
Yeah.
You need to be of some character. All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I wanted to go into, in particular, the Argentina-Netherlands match.
Right? Yeah.
And with the match for that one, I had his name here. Antonio Mateo Lajos.
Yes.
If I butchered his name, I apologize. With that being said, apparently
it wasn't any christening.
He is very infamous in La Liga for making a lot of calls against Barcelona.
Yes.
From doing my little research I saw before. He obviously, I know, Darren, you mentioned this before, where the referee should not make the match about himself. You should not be talking about the official afterwards. You should be speaking about the match. He dished out 17 cards in total. If my math is right, 16 yellows and 1 red. It was very close. Does anybody remember the match in 2006 between, ironically enough, the Netherlands as well and Portugal, where I think it was 16 yellows and 4 reds in that match.
Yeah, I can't pass
and that was all that people could talk about afterwards.
Exactly.
Do you feel that there was any sort of Messi bias with his Barcelona roots based on his history, or not really, ref?
Well, I really want to earn a sort of caution in responding to this, because referees are humans as well. We have our own. We like to see this team play. We like this player, whatever the case is. But when we put on that uniform, all that goes out the window.
Or at least it's supposed to.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Good choice of words. Supposed to.
I do not want to fully agree to that statement in principle. In principle, Devin. So if he wanted to be Messi's godfather and hold his hand from young come up, well, that's great, that's his business. But referees are supposed to be professional when they put on that uniform. All measure of bias should be left at the training room door or the entrance to the stadium when you reach at the venue. So yes, an argument can be given, but as a fellow professional referee, I would leave it as just speculation, conspiracy theories.
Fair enough. Because I've spoken to people in our other group.
Based on what I just said, did anybody else have any agree or disagree with that view as well?
I have one question I want to ask though. Is like, as regards, like, if upon a review of a referee's performance in a match, and they see that there's a lot of like continuous errors, like constant errors and a lot of calls, because mind you, he will have the assistance of VAR. But would it mean that he necessarily has to take VAR's decision as his, or whatever decision he makes from it is his the final call in that regard? And then supposing that he looks at that and everybody around him, the other officials, realize, yeah, he got this wrong. What action is necessarily taken after such review might have been done on the performance?
All right. Now, in the debrief session, where they go through all the match incidents and everything like that, the assessor and the committee would go through, okay, in minute 15, there was a collision that you didn't call, that a potential yellow card you missed. And they will go through, okay, but what was the line of thought in that instance? Did the assistant referees assist you in that? Did VAR assist you in that? And they will go through the pros and cons of it. So if at the end of that session, there was like, well, yeah, this referee really poor, they would, or would obviously relate that to the official team. And then it comes, I would say, a remedial session, for want of a better term, where you go back and you review your clips and you review your mistakes and you learn the laws of the game if you need refreshing, or you know how to apply the laws of the game in that instance, so that in your next match appointment, you're in a better place. You have the better tools, you have a better understanding how to apply the laws of the game. Because everybody could read the 17 laws and that's all well and good. But the application of the laws in the game is what separates the good referees from the great referees.
Right. Okay, understood.
Yep.
So Argentina, Netherlands.
Right. One of my big talking points outside of the Messi bias conspiracy, is how could you not send off or issue sanctions? Because the sanctions he gave were things that really didn't need it. Because one thing as a referee, you are to manage the game. You are not to control the game. You are there to manage the game.
Right.
All right. So let's say the Messi handball incident.
Yep.
There is no way that is not a yellow card.
So here's my thing though. So what stopped him from doing it though? Because at the end of the day, I mean,
there's the question. There is the question. I cannot, from the evidence I saw, there's no way I cannot see how that wasn't given. In my opinion, our question was not given. In my opinion,
I don't know.
It was like what? Like what is that?
I was like, what the hell?
What like for real? Because not to say like if his arms was close to his body or he tried to shield himself for the ball, and the term is on unnatural position. You're making your body. You have your hands in a natural position. You're making your body naturally larger. That is a cautionable offense. And it is a cautionable offense. So I have no idea as to why.
Why?
That wasn't a caution. All right. My second major talking point is when that ball was blasted into the Dutch technical area.
Bench. Yeah, because I look at that could bring the game into disrepute there. Yeah, because if them men did run off the bench,
that's antagonizing the opposition.
Yeah,
that's antagonizing the opposition.
I say, but what the hell? Them men could have run off the bench and a brawl could have ensued there, and that could have been the end of the game.
And again, at that stage of the game, in my opinion, the referee didn't have proper management of the players.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of situations. I think when you look at some of the tackles that went in, especially the one on Ake, that was another one that could have been considered. You know what? Okay, that should have been. I can't remember if the Argentine player was booked for that, but that also caused some contention with that. There was a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. It all broke down.
It all broke. That's a very good term to use in cricket.
The card, if I'm not mistaken, the card that Memphis get, is not the man kick him.
It's not exactly. So when you're having these incidents back to back, the players themselves lose faith in you as a match official. So there's where you would have, as Greg brought up, a breakdown in the game. Because if the referee had a better management of the situation, they would know that, this referee is not one to play with.
Yeah.
So, you really want to, as a match official, it doesn't matter if you're on the line, if you're in the middle, if you're in the VAR truck, if you're the fourth official, whatever. You want to communicate to the 22 individuals on the field and the technical bench that you are capable in exercising your duties for this situation. And the moment that slips or the moment there's a doubt, they will be on your case. They will be on your case. And now, let's say it gets ahead.
The question with that,
Devin.
For that being said, Darren, I do have a question right now. How much preparation pre-match would an official do before the match? Like, will you research the players? Will you figure out, okay, this one tends to dive a lot, this one likes to talk a lot, this team tends to be more aggressive, things like that? How much homework will you do before the match, if any at all?
Did you do homework before the match? Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
There is a measure, and that's a great question because John Public thinks that the referee shows up and just runs. No, we do our homework on everybody, from those the regular starters to the coach to the technical area. We research who is coming to that game, their tendencies, their behaviors, everything. So let's say my match appointment is Friday coming. The officiating team is doing their homework all now. All now we are doing our homework. And let's say it's in a tournament where the games are coming every other day or whatever. We have briefing sessions where we go like, okay, this team's like to set up in this formation. Number 7 likes to go wide and come in. Number 10 is a playmaker, so expect him to receive a lot of tackles. We do our homework. So we don't just show up to the match venue, put on our kit and run.
Run out.
It's almost like if you're officiating a El Clasico back in the day. You know that the likes of Pepe and Ramos are wild and they can kick you. You know Busquets dives a lot. You know
there's a game back in the day, leaving a yellow card home.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
You're leaving the yellow card home because you know Ramos going to do some kind of mad thing.
yeah, you know that. So
And then, so with that being said, to ask another question now. Obviously, officials are human, just like anybody else. Officials will make mistakes as they go in.
Yes.
Is makeup calls a real thing?
Yeah.
Makeup calls? What do you mean?
A makeup
All
call.
right.
Okay.
So let's say. All right, Darren, you want to explain this one, or?
All right, a makeup call, Phil. It is Greg versus Mark, and I miss a call for Greg. So the call goes against Greg. So for me to balance the scale,
yeah,
I will give a call for Greg.
So it's almost like ever give a soft penalty for Team A. It was controversial.
Yeah.
And then Team B gets a soft penalty as well. What Team B gets on this similar, I must give them to make up for it.
It's basically it's almost like an amendment for the previous one where they felt like the opposition felt hard done by that previous call, and then the referee's like
my say is two wrongs don't make a right.
It doesn't. True. It doesn't, but it makes it even.
With that being said,
it makes it even because sometimes if I with a team and a player from our team get on just call then. The referee missed one and it go against us. And one of our players gets sent off. I don't know coming in the second half or sometime during the game, it's going to have a makeup call. Somebody from the next team going to get sent off too.
Yeah. So to answer Devin's question,
it's a very controversial answer.
It's a very controversial line of thought.
So watch your words. You're being recorded.
No, should the referee make a mistake?
I guess we'll put a disclaimer out there now for
everybody watching
right now.
Yeah.
These are the opinions. These are opinions here. These are not guidelines. These are not official laws. These are simple opinions. And the only reason why we have Darren ask us is because Darren is the only one that we know who is an actual official. So we'd like to get the perspective of that. But
so if anybody from
say, oh well, Darren said this, so it has to be law.
No. Let it be known. Darren, I am not a spokesperson for the referee department of FIFA.
Exactly.
Or the referee department of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association.
So in other words, anybody from the Trinidad and Tobago Referee Association or Football Association happen to be watching this show, Darren is just here giving some advice and clearing up some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So makeup calls, it's a controversial line of thought. Because should the referee make a mistake, we are trained not to dwell on it. You make a mistake, all right, cool. At least you have your self-awareness to know you made a mistake. But you should not try to balance the scale. Again, we are here to exercise the laws of the game, first and foremost. So no one team, and we tell both teams this at the beginning of every match. No one team is going to receive all the calls in their favor.
Correct.
One team. So from the beginning, and again, all this comes down to match management. The players know, I'm not going to get everything. Or if I try something, it may or may not work. All right. So makeup calls, we try not to do that. We try not to.
But it happens. It happens. Not intentionally, but it does happen.
All right, because these things can happen coincidentally. Like again, Greg gets a call that is not in his favor, and then lower down the road he gets a call that is in his favor. Is it a makeup call? No, not really. No. But
because some people say yesterday's game England should have about 3 penalties.
Come on, man. Come on.
At least two.
Well, they got two.
I never said I said it. I said some people.
I think it was Konate's fault on Hurricane and.
Good afternoon, Martin. We get to the England game afterwards. I mean, I know we talked a bit on the Argentina-Netherlands game. We still have to cover the Portugal-Morocco game as well. So
right.
So we will get to the match at the end of it. But as you were saying, so continue.
Darren, that's you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Darren.
The general train of thought for match officiating is to have 22 players enter the field, 22 players leave the field. Okay? When you see these things start to get into play, there the lines start to get blurred. Because should this be issued, there is a lot of writing that we have to do to not only state why this was given, but no, we have to explain to the tournament officials, to the coach and staff, to the even John public as to why that was issued. It's not just card. No. No, it is not that. Even the more notorious local referees don't show up on games just card. No, there is a reason to why we did that. There's a reason why those sanctions are issued. So when I go into work or let's say in the pro league going on and a call is given, I will get a phone call. What do you think about that? Why they give this card? Why they give that card? And I have to explain under cautionable offenses or sending off offenses as to why those sanctions were issued. So what I would advise the public to do, or even the consumers of football to do, is educate themselves on the laws of the game. You don't need to become a referee. If you want to become a referee, and right now we do have a registration course for intake, so get on to that. I could post the link, and I have to put in. Oh, come on,
but we're not stopping you.
Do your thing. Educate yourselves on the laws of the game.
Let me ask one question, Ref. Obviously, with regards to red cards, there's blatant red cards, and then there's that's a red card, or like I didn't see that red card coming. Do you still have to explain a blatant? Yes. If I jump kick a man and my studs are high, obviously that's a blatant red card.
Yes.
But then there's some red cards that are, whoa, I didn't see that coming, or is that really a red? Right? You still got those are the ones you have to explain more or go into more detail on, right?
Yes, actually, you still have to go into from the time these are issued, you have to explain why those were issued.
So if I jump kick a man on a football field and get a red card, the ref still got to explain that.
Well, yeah, there's a match report you have to fill out.
Yeah,
very nice.
And that might be the last match that referee.
Yeah, but there's a match report you have to fill out, and in that match report you have a section for sanctions, and in minute 68, that's all after the formalities. Minute 68, player X, blah 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 blah, which resulted in a red card being issued, and player it was sent off the field of play, and la 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 la. So you still have, even if everybody knows that is a red card, in your match report you have to write out the particulars of that sanction, of that sending off.
Correct. So it's a lot of work. As you say, just go put on clothes and come on referee.
No, the thing about referees getting more spotlight is, yes, we're in the age of media and people consuming more television media, people consuming more sports, so people want to know more about sports or what goes into it. So there you would receive a lot, as a match official, you receive a greater spotlight because you are involved in that production. Because let's say in the early, like for me, I know I'm the youngest person in this room here. So
are you?
I'm about 17 and all that.
And doggies.
Well, anyhow you take it.
You're 17, right? But
yeah.
But when I was coming up, the referee was a nobody, was an old person.
Yeah.
Who playing days done.
Who could hardly run.
who still want to be involved in the sport, and you go and hold the whistle or you go and hold a flag.
Yeah, and they ain't coming out the center circle at all.
At all. So referee was coming up. And then as you know, as the years went by, the profile of a referee has changed. All right, not so much that people know who are referees everybody know who's the gold standard of refereing.
Pierluigi Collina.
Yes,
Collina. Yeah.
Collina.
That is godfather referee.
That's one of the few things I think that all football fans will actually be united on. And it's one of the few, I think.
The ball and the beautiful.
The most respected referee ever.
The man who communicated 5 languages. I think it was 5 languages.
Yeah, well, about 5 languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man had VR in the back of his eyes. Yeah, before VR existed. But yeah.
Exactly. So
the stare he used to give me worse than a red card.
Darren, before you go on, I have this comment up from Robert. Shout out to Robert as well.
Oh, Robert.
FIFA corruption just filtered down to referees. They show favoritism towards teams or players. This is Robert's view.
Robert.
It wouldn't be Robert if he didn't say something like this.
Well done, Robbie.
Would you like to respond to this comment?
I want to respond to this comment because this is a general train of thought in the public space and
that's exactly why I put this comment up for this reason.
This is a general thought in the public space. In the 2 parts, FIFA corruption filters down to the referee. No. No, Robert. No. And the second part of this statement, they show favoritism to teams or players. Again, no. Yes, calls, no.
Robert, you don't understand. The man trying to be politically correct here, so.
Certain calls do benefit players and teams, yes, but it is not the match officials' intention to go there and give decisions that benefits players or teams.
I got to also debunk a myth that has been going on for years.
So I have one more question before I pretty much hand over the reins, and this is for Darren right now. This is one I think that is it's kind of a topic right now. How much has VAR influenced decisions in the modern game now, do you think? Do you think officials now are more hesitant to call things and rely on VAR, or they still call it the same as before?
No. It gives the on-field match officials, a safety net. No, it doesn't take away from the man in the middle from his powers, because at the end of the day, how in law is written, he is the final say, the one in the middle. So it doesn't take away from their powers or their scope of duties. VAR is, again, for the public, video assistant referee. VAR is there, and it is VAR's primary role to assist in the decision making. So let's say in instances where the play there's another change in play. There's an incident that happened here, but lower down something else happens that affects the outcome. VAR is there to assist the referee in making the correct decision. Part of VAR's scope is that part of VAR's involvement, is that for checking goals, they need to go through the entire phase of play leading up to that goal. So if there's a foul that was committed before the goal was scored, or a foul that was committed in the lead up of the goal being scored, they have to check that and then the on-field referee makes his decision accordingly. VAR is not there to take over anything. All right.
Correct.
Unfortunately, there isn't VAR in the local game as yet, but we are making progress in getting there. I could see that in the public space.
Yeah.
That we are making progress in getting there. But as it stands now,
I feel it needed in local football. Eh?
Well, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I feel it needed. Why I say that is because look the recent intercollegiate final between Fatima and St. Benedict, where a St. Benedict player. He get tackled by a Fatima player. And when he got up, the two players got up, he felt an elbow. And hit the Fatima player in his face. Had there been VAR in the local football, he was off. Because when the cameras show the replay, when Sportsmax show the replay,
Mark,
you actually see.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Mark. I apologize. We're starting to run time right now. I did want to get more into the topic of the next match, Portugal and Mexico. Darren, for you as an official, how would you rate that official's performance in that? You think he was good? You think he was bad? You think he missed calls? You think he got a spot on? What is your opinion on that?
That was a very well officiated match.
That was my opinion as well too. So I have to tell you, from the outside looking in, I was a little bit stunned by the comments that were made afterwards.
Exactly.
And it even came from and as a United fan, I was a little bit surprised that Bruno would make the comment that
Bruno didn't hold back.
He was Argentinian, so it took me by surprise because I did not think that was as controversial as the next match we're going to talk about afterwards. But I just wanted to know your opinion as an official.
Very well officiated match.
Yeah.
The referee, in a nutshell, let the game play. The referee gave the team the opportunity to go for the win. Both teams, the referee allowed the game to play. Everything wasn't a whistle, a stop and play.
Back. Close the case range.
The play continued. When the referee had to get involved, he was involved. Otherwise, it was about the players and let the players decide the outcome of the match.
Also, I will say, if the likes of Goncalo Ramos and João Felix took their chances, would this have even been a talking point?
Very much so.
Exactly.
Getting into that big field, and that is another issue in the public space, that the referee decides the outcome of the match. No, he does not.
No.
The referee doesn't go on and give goals as he feels like. You get a goal. You get a goal. No, I'm taking one from you.
He's now probably free.
So
you got a car.
You know, when those things happen, is because players are disgruntled, fans are disgruntled, and they're looking for somebody to blame. And the referee is the easiest target.
Usual suspect.
Easiest target. So, come on, people, come on.
Usual suspect.
So we're all pretty much in agreement that those comments were completely out of line. They were not justified in any way.
Yeah, because had Pepe scored that free header, he got the back post.
Yeah.
Come on. Who fault is he missed that? The referee?
With that being said, the official did fine.
The official?
The official.
He had a good game. To me, he had a good game.
Very good game.
Very
good game. Yes.
Now, last quarterfinal.
Yeah, they the bacchanal game.
England versus France. Where to begin with this one? We will start this time. We're going to go around from the fans' perspective, and then we will go to the officials' perspective afterwards for the final say on this one. So, Greg B, what is your opinion of that match?
I felt like there were some decisions that he could have really given. I mean, the one against Bukayo Saka was one that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah.
That was one I was like, okay, that was a free kick. I felt like there was a bit of a tangling between those two. That was something that the referee, I believe, just left alone when it would have been an opportunity for England to probably make something for themselves. But I can't say what his line of thinking was in that regard, but that was a very questionable decision for me.
All right, so Mark.
Well, besides the Saka, the first one with Harry Kane, the first so-called penalty call with Harry Kane. That one kind of, after watching the replay and thing and seeing pictures where The feet were tangled up. That was kind of. I feel that you should have at least go to VAR and look it over. That first penalty call. So I feel in the game itself he missed some calls, but it is what it is.
Big Phil.
Yeah, I kind of echo what Greg and Mark said with regards to the calls yesterday, right? And I think this is where people have been saying VAR, whether it's at international level or club level, have been a bit inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
And I think I think the main, to put it brief, I think the main objective of VAR is to say, you sure you made the right decision? Like, just a yes or no. You sure you made the right decision? Come and take a look at this monitor and tell me and tell us if you made the right decision, right? Because the VAR, don't forget, is a second or a third or fourth or fifth pair of eyes, right? Because the referee can't pick up everything in real time. He's only human. He's not a computer, right? That's where VAR should come in, right? There were some questionable calls that should have been made, like you guys said, Saka and Harry Kane as well. But at the end of the day, football is played for 90 minutes, and there are some chances that England could have taken. There are also some chances France could have taken that could have buried the match as well, too. But at the end of the day, we're here to talk about the refereeing, right? So I won't go into that as yet.
So we leave the best for last. In this case, the
referee. The referee.
All right.
Let's hear your ref.
No, he's stuttering already.
No. We were all quiet when everybody else spoke.
I'm kidding. All right, I'll stop. I apologize. I apologize.
Okay. Here we go.
Darren, you there?
Can you hear me now?
I think he did. He a bit delayed, I think, yeah.
You're breaking up badly.
No, we ain't breaking up. You breaking up.
Yeah, we're back inside.
Nice.
Here we go. I am of the opinion that a match of that caliber, you want to see the game through. There should not be many stoppages to disrupt the flow of the game. Again, you let the players decide the outcome of the match. So as a match official in that caliber of a match at that stage of a tournament, you really want to be a non-factor in how the match plays out. So with that being established, hearing the sentiments of the referee should have called this or the referee should have called that, I could give a measure of room to that. However, you don't want to be heavily involved in the proceedings of a match. So while he should have called it, let the players play. And it wasn't much change in the broad sense of the word decisions to say that had he called that call, the outcome would have been different. With the incident with Harry Kane's penalty claim, I looked over that, and it's what the angles they showed of the incident. I think VAR would have been more of a intervened heavily or heavier had that been inside the box. Then VAR would have been a bigger presence in the decision-making period. But from what I've seen, you really could not tell. So I would want to think that, okay, we really can't tell in a referee. So you as a match official, you as the on-field referee, we going with what you say.
Okay.
All right, because the evidence could be deemed inconclusive. So,
I mean, to be fair, I thought that would have been at least a free kick because, I mean, that...
Yeah, some kind of thing.
Exactly. So, yeah, you have some saying free kick, some saying penalty,
yeah,
which is what you're going to make. So
Yeah.
VAR could be like, you know what? Because if you give a free kick, that's supposed to be a penalty and everybody up in arms and everything. But
Yeah, and if you give a penalty, that's supposed to be a free kick.
exactly,
Yeah,
and awarding a penalty, which is kind of much of as good as a goal at this stage, that could determine the outcome of a match. So you're stuck in a between a rock and a hard place, and you say, you know what, you really can't tell. So on-field referee, if he didn't call it, we were going with that.
yeah.
Outside of those incidents, the players decided the outcome of the game.
Exactly.
The players decided the outcome of the game. And you want to know how a referee had a good game? When they do talk about the referee.
Correct. Correct.
Because look how Tuchemeni almost went from hero to villain when he gave away that penalty for Harry Kane, right? So
Exactly.
You're telling me?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that in itself, Harry Kane decided the outcome of the match. He could have scored that, whatever the case is, and it'd be on him.
Yeah.
It'd be on him, not the referee awarding the penalty.
They say that penalty licked down Santa's lane.
All right. So I implore the public to be more knowledgeable of the laws of the game. Even if you don't want to become a match official, at least learn the laws of the game or have a fair grasp of the laws of the game, so you could put yourself in the match official shoes as to why that call was made or wasn't made. Even if you don't want to be on the field refereeing, you could enjoy a football match from a different point of view.
Right.
I can play a little devil's advocate, ref.
All right.
Everything that ref has said, I totally agree with, right? But in the moment, all football fans are thinking emotionally and not logically.
Yes.
So we will have to come the following day and analyze it. In the moment when it is,
No, I don't think that's just in football. I think that's in life in general. But continue.
Yeah. When emotions running high, the blood hot.
When it comes to sports in general, it doesn't mean it was basketball or football, right? In that moment, we're all thinking emotionally, like, why the F was given? That should have been a penalty. That should have been a card. Whatever, right? It's only when we have these discussions after a football match, 24 hours, 48 hours after everything has boiled down, that we kind of go back to thinking logically, right? So
okay, Mr. Devil's Advocate.
Yes. Yes.
What I gathered was, what is the mind frame of a referee in the moment?
No. So you were saying that we should be educated, which I totally agree on the laws, right? But then, like, laws go out the window and emotion starts to take over in the moment. That's what I'm just saying.
Right. Well, yes.
But what does a referee do in an instance like that? Like, say the whole place just gets temperamental, everybody's fighting to get a decision to go their way. You have like about 10 or 15 bodies in front of you. Everybody wants you to make that decision in favor of their team. In a scenario like that, what would you consider the best course of action?
So in other words, are you saying how would an official make sure he keeps control of the match? Because at that point,
pretty much.
The official
a couple yellow cards will settle everything.
So there's my take as well, right? Before you laugh, I think three people should take control of a match on the field. That's the official ref and the two club captains, right?
Okay.
They should be separating their players from getting into the club or country captains. They should be separating their respective players from going into the ref's face and let the ref make a more logical decision. If
right. So let me start from there and work backwards. When I am on games, I tell we in the pre-match discussions with the teams, we always tell them captains control the players before I control the players. Captains speak to your players before I talk to your players.
Yeah, I've seen and heard that before.
So we're giving the powers to the captain and to control their people, because again, when these things start to come into play, it's a different game. and we don't want to get to that. We want 22 on, we want 22 off. All right. Should an instance of there's a loud outburst and everybody's rushing to the referee or the linesman to make a decision. The first thing we as the match officials have to do is calm everybody down. It could happen in many subjective ways based on the personality of the referee. Either you could see him stay quiet and let everybody rant and rave and keep mental notes and okay, this one was out of line in his approach. This one was using swear words, and in the instance that you need to issue sanctions. 2, you could raise your voice, not in a disrespectful manner of opposition, because again, you're dealing with people's emotions in that state.
Right.
Right, so it comes down to personnel management, your people skills. All right. 3, what you're really trying to do is regain management of the overall situation. And there's where football understanding comes in, because you want the call to go your way. So you're going to try to influence the referee to make the call in your way. The call have to go somewhere.
Correct.
The call has to go somewhere, but you want it in your favor. So you trying to influence or even to a larger extent, intimidate the referee to give the call in your direction. So in that, I've been in many of those situations, and my method was to just stand up and watch everybody stay calm, no emotion. And then when they recognize that, like, okay, you give them like about, let's say, 3 to 4 seconds, because again, tempers are flaring, emotions are up. You don't want to stifle that immediately, because that could backfire in your face. So you let them talk, you let them get on, go referee this, that, the next, on the hands and everything, and okay, 3, 4, 5 seconds, okay, that's enough, calm down, let me work, I will make a decision. Captain, speak to your player, talk to your player, and again, you try to bring the tension down into a manageable space. So then when it is down to a manageable pace, then okay, call going this way. I don't use man's call going this way, or offside, or no goal, or whatever the case is. Then you make a decision. Then if you need to issue sanctions, you call the player, okay, you, and you take your notes and everything, and then you restart the play with however the play needs to be restarted. So you really, your overall mind frame is to how best could I regain control of a situation, because you cannot control everything, and especially when there's an emotional outburst by either the players on the field or those in technical area, because we don't care who in the stands and who say what in the stands. We do not care. I tell you that in the public space, we do not care. We do not care. Those on the field, we want to remain manageable of that situation. By extension, those in the technical area, the coach and the subs and the medics and all of them, you want to maintain management of that situation. So when we bring that back to a space of, okay, now things have calmed down, now we could make sense out of what is going on now, we take the required actions as need be.
Well, Darren, I do have to say thank you so much for that insight right now.
Problem.
I hope the general public, everybody who's watching, sees a different perspective as of now. And above all else, evidence before emotions.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
It's very easy to go after the official, but put yourself in their shoes before you make a decision. I get it. It's a tense match. Everything else as well too.
Yeah.
But you have to think logically. Do not go off of emotions. I know it's tough. I get it. I know it's tough.
It is.
It is. Put yourself in everybody's shoes. Think about it. Think about it from all perspectives and come up with a logical decision that way. Cannot thank you enough, Darren, for doing this. I know it was a lot thrown at you today. You were getting at it from four different things right now. So, yeah.
Oh, we were nice. We were
nice. We were good. This was one of the calmest bar sessions in recent times.
Only because I'm drinking water. That's all.
Yeah, but that too.
No, well, you see, as a referee again, you have to manage the situation. So thank you for being.
Because men free to get red card and get put out the bar.
Can I get put on the bar?
Hey, yo, let me take a break. Gotta walk into that straight face. Like good. Pure hits and I'm moving normal.
Yeah.
So with
No,
that,
but it had certain things he said in the early is some referees really need to take that piece of information and let it sink in. The game is about the players and not the referee.
Correct.
Yeah, some referees really need to take that because it has some referees that feel the game is all about them. People pay the money to come and see them.
We are not trained with that mindset. We are not our training sessions or classroom sessions. That is not the overarching mindset that people come to see.
Some referees, and then some referees let the personal emotions get the better of them too.
No, I had a battle there, Mark. I had a battle there.
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Well, let's go. Let's
go.
Even if we wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
You understand?
If we had a bad day at the office.
No, none of that. You see, as I sweating again, first I get so the thing about that statement. Oh gosh, Olio. Oh gosh.
Mark, trigger anybody else?
Yes.
I press a button, boy.
Yes. No, because it will have days it's not good at the office.
Yeah.
Or we get car trouble and we reach late. So from the time we reach at that venue,
that too, and you know, find out
they got
the match is 3:30. The match is 3:30, but 11 o'clock you got called. Boy, it'll be one shot. You can come in. How?
Them thing I could understand.
You understand? But
I was on a couple games already, and the referee said, "Boy, I know get a call, you know." So that's why I know reach. I said, "Well, where to do if you know get a call, all right?"
You understand?
I know this is out of the topic, but I know there's 4 more fixtures for the World Cup. That's Croatia, Argentina, France, and Morocco. There's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4. No,
there's
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because there's the 2 semifinals.
The third place match and
then So what you guys thinking are the predictions for these 2 semifinals? Because the 2 semifinals coming up on Wednesday and Tuesday.
Do not be surprised if the 2 heavy favorites lose.
That's what I'm saying. Croatia and Morocco for the final.
Do not be surprised.
And don't be surprised if it end up the same 2 from the last World Cup.
Croatia and France, yeah, true.
As a betting man and looking at the way everything is going right now, I would put a small wager on the 2 underdogs making the final.
Is it true that Croatia has only beaten 1 team in the World Cup and everything has gone to penalties?
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
They only beat 1 team, but everything since then is just penalties. So if Argentina with the penalties, boy.
Yeah.
Guys, it's looking like it's about that time though. I know we went a little bit over. I know we were supposed to be an hour, but you know what? It was such a good conversation.
Yeah, a lot of information was passed.
This will be my last show of the year stateside. I am going back home on Friday, so I cannot wait to be back.
Yeah.
So
Christmas time.
Be ready for We Outside from a place besides Trinidad. Nothing wrong with Trinidad, but we are Man United Caribbean. So it'll be nice to have it from the Bajan perspective as well as the Trinity perspective. And we are always looking for anybody else from the other islands who wants to join. You are more than welcome to reach out to us at any time as well.
We may have a few international guests as well too. It may not just be Caribbean related alone, but that's for another.
Exactly. We've had it before. We've had Premier League legends on here before. We've had British. We've had quite a few on here. So guys,
we've had viewers all the way from South Africa and everything. So yeah,
man.
Also a good time now to announce. We're always doing giveaways. Like for example, this Eric Cantona shirt in the back of me right now. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And once we get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season, this Eric Cantona frame poster behind me.
Some people subscribe. I'll space on the wall.
Bruh.
Subscribe.
On top of that, I'm also holding up another shirt. I'm also holding up another shirt right here. Which is part of the holiday giveaway.
I'll say some old people subscribe.
On the back. It is a current first team member of the United squad.
We're not gonna say who it is though.
Well, I mean, we don't know it's not gonna be Van der Beek, so
All I will tell you is it is signed and authenticated. Perhaps I should do a reveal when I get home on the beach. You never know.
Hey,
But any parting words, everybody, before we go?
it's not coming home.
Wow.
The team is,
The only boy.
not the World Cup.
The only thing coming home is the England national team, boy. That's what-
Exactly, it's not coming home.
Damn. I mean, I was on the avenue and I caught Harry Kane's ball. You can check out my Instagram stories there.
hey.
Right? They say right now Santa looking to file a lawsuit against Harry Kane. And Rudolph and two other Rangers dead. And
Oh wow. But in all seriousness, though, this has been a very exciting World Cup. This is probably one of the best World Cups I've had. I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, one of the
I
best.
can't wait to see
while.
who makes that final. I can't wait to see who makes that final.
Yeah,
Correct.
Morocco and Croatia.
Nah, France and Croatia, buddy. France and Croatia.
Yeah,
Guys,
That too.
It's definitely been.
our Martinez go man rest up, man.
Darren, thank you so much for being such a good sport about this. In light of all this, and
Darren, you doing any games tomorrow? By chance?
This is the United Hour.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.